Alright, so I finally did it. I downloaded Warframe. A game that has been out for almost over a decade, has a player base that's somehow still very alive, and has been sitting on my Steam wish list for, honestly, longer than I want to admit. If you're wondering why it took me this long, it's simple. I saw it years ago, thought, wow, that looks frickin' sick, then immediately never touched it again. Classic. So this video is not a guide, it's not a pro tips video. I have a total of 6 hours in game. This is just going to be my honest opinion as a brand new player, what hooked me, what confused me, what finally clicked, and why somehow I'm already addicted. When you boot up Warframe for the very first time, the game immediately hits you with the choice: Volt, Mag, or Excalibur. And before anyone in the YouTube comments starts hyperventilating, no, I didn't research any tier lists, I didn't watch any YouTube guides, and I didn't Google Best Starter Warframe 2025. I went in completely blind on purpose, because I've learned over the years the fastest way for me to kill enjoyment of a game is letting the internet tell me how I'm supposed to play it. So I picked Volt. Why? Because he looked cool. The game said he went fast, and my brain went, yes, speed good. That's it. That was my entire thought process. And honestly, I don't regret that decision. Within the first 10 minutes of playing, I realized something extremely important. This game feels incredible. And I don't mean, oh yeah, this is fun. I mean, moment to moment, keyboard and mouse in hand, brain activated, neuron activation kind of good. The movement alone caught me off guard. You're not just running around shooting things, you're sliding, bullet jumping, wall running, double jumping, and chaining momentum together like you're in some kind of sci-fi parkour simulator. At one point, I realized I wasn't even thinking about where I was going anymore. My hands were just doing things. And suddenly, I wasn't just playing a shooter, I was playing a space ninja power fantasy, which, for the record, is a sentence I never thought I would say out loud. Combat felt fast, flashy, and responsive in a way a lot of modern games just don't. Enemies weren't bullet sponges. Abilities felt impactful. Melee actually mattered. I wasn't standing behind cover popping heads like every other shooter, I was launching myself into groups of enemies with a sword like I had a death wish. And somehow it worked. Then I picked up my first semi-automatic rifle. Nothing fancy, no legendary drop, just a basic weapon. And the game throws me into a defensive mission. I had no idea what was going on, I didn't know why I was defending this position, and I didn't know who the enemies were. I definitely don't understand the lore yet. I should probably brush up on that. Okay, and just a quick pop in. If you're enjoying the video, please leave me a like and subscribe. Love you, bye. But something clicked immediately. The game wasn't asking me to learn systems. It was just asking me to play. Enemies rushing in, abilities on cooldown, gunfire everywhere, and in that moment, I didn't feel overwhelmed, I felt locked in. This is the part that surprised me the most. Warframe doesn't really ease you in that slowly. It just kind of drops you in the deep end and says, figure it out, you'll be fine. And honestly, that confidence is kind of refreshing. At this point, I still had no idea how deep the game actually went. I didn't understand modding, I didn't understand the progression, and I definitely didn't understand crafting, mastery rank, or the star chart. But that didn't matter yet, because the core gameplay loop, movement, combat, and abilities were already doing its job. It made me want to learn the rest, and that's why I went in blind. There was no expectations, I didn't want to go through the meta pressure, and no, you should have picked this frame instead. It was just me, fast lightning guy, a sword, and a sudden realization that, oh, this game has been sitting here for over a decade and I might have seriously missed out. When you're a kid, I feel like it's a lot simpler to just go to a store, buy a game, and be completely happy with whatever you got. As an adult, it's a lot harder to do that, but Warframe somehow captivated me entirely. And after that initial rush, the movement, the combat, the wow, this feels good phase, I started doing what I always do in games. I open the menus. And this is where Warframe politely stops holding your hand and says, good luck, because suddenly I'm staring at mods, the star chart, foundry, currencies, mastery rank, arsenal menus, things blinking at me for things I don't yet understand, and I realize something very important. This game's old, like over a decade old, which means Warframe isn't just a game, it's a museum of systems that have been layered on top of each other for 10 plus years. And as a brand new player, the realization is both exciting and absolutely terrifying. Because on one hand, I'm thinking, wow, there is so much to do. And on the other hand, I'm thinking, I have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to do first. The star map especially messed with my brain early on. At first, it feels simple. Missions are linear, you clear nodes, move planet to planet. Cool, I can do that. But then you realize some planets are locked, some paths are blocked, some missions require crafting, some quests unlock entire systems, and suddenly it's like, oh, this isn't just a shooter, this is a progression puzzle. And here's where I think a lot of players bounce out of the game, because Warframe doesn't sit you down and say, hey, here's your main objective for the next 10 hours. Instead, it gives you options, lots of them, all at once, which is great unless you're someone like me who went into this completely blind on purpose. No guides, no beginner videos, no top 10 things to do first. I wanted my experience to be raw. I wanted to mess up. I wanted to be confused. I wanted that moment where things eventually click. But yeah, there's a solid stretch where I started my screen like, am I just progressing here or am I just existing in this game? Then the mastery rank system slapped me in the face. I don't even know what it was at first. 1 second I'm doing missions, the next second the game is like, hey, rank up. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, there's an XP system, but it's not just XP. It's tied to leveling weapons and frames, and that somehow unlocks gear? Okay, sure, makes sense. Probably. And this is where I started to understand something really important about Warframe. You don't accidentally progress, you progress because you learn. You learn systems, you learn all the synergies with modding, you learn what actually matters and what doesn't. And honestly, that realization alone kept me playing because once I stopped expecting the game to spoon feed me, I started enjoying figuring it out. At one point in the game, I was just sitting there going, okay, so I think I'm just gonna go farm materials because I really don't know what else to do. It is an open world game. I didn't always just want to do one linear thing at a time. I kind of wanted to just do my own thing. And that's how I kind of ended up getting myself frustrated right at the beginning because I didn't realize that there was so much stuff to unlock to progress my character further into the game. And at that point, I didn't feel frustrated anymore. I actually wanted to progress myself, so I farmed everything, went and crafted what I was supposed to craft, and eventually made my way off the first planet. Okay, now listen, I need to confess something. I saw a Vault skin, a very cool Vault skin, and look, I'm only human. I told myself, I'm just gonna look. I did not just look, I bought platinum, and honestly, I do not regret it. Because here's what Warframe actually does well. That skin didn't make me stronger, it didn't unlock any content, it didn't win the game for me, it just made my lightning ninja look cooler while I was learning. I think modding was probably the most daunting part of Warframe for me at first. There's so many cards, so many numbers, so many slots, but once I actually slowed down and paid attention, it stopped being so overwhelming and started being logical. Mods aren't random, they have to be intentional choices. You're not just making numbers bigger, you're actually sitting there building a synergy. The biggest breakthrough for me was elemental damage. At first I thought, okay, cool, fire burns things, but then I realized you can combine elements after I thought back with my small pea-sized brain to the tutorial, and suddenly the system made sense. Different enemy types respond to different combinations, and when I started matching elements to enemies, my damage skyrocketed. Not because I was overpowered, but because I finally understood why I was doing what I was doing. Another thing I missed early on, going back to old missions. I thought I was doing something wrong if I replayed content. Turns out that's literally how the game is designed. Fissure missions, relics, and farming prime parts. I don't fully understand relics, and I'm not pretending that I do, but I do understand this. Warframe rewards patience and repetition, and thanks to the people in my comments, I learned that prime parts can be sold for platinum through player trading, which means you can literally earn premium currency without spending any real money. That's huge. I do want to rewind for a second and put all this together. I started Warframe completely blind, no guides, no tier lists, no top 10 beginner videos, and yeah, that absolutely made things harder. But it also made the experience feel real. I wasn't optimizing, I wasn't min-maxing, I was just playing, and because of that, every discovery felt earned. I learned how movement is basically a giant part of the game, the star chart is the backbone of progression, crafting isn't optional, it's core, modding is absolutely everything, and this game rewards curiosity more than anything else. Now here's the funny part, Warframe does a phenomenal job at making you feel like an unstoppable cybernetic space alien ninja right up until you join a public lobby, because suddenly there's someone flying past you at Mach fucking Jesus, obliterating enemies you didn't even see yet, clearing rooms before your brain registers even what is happening. And honestly, that didn't discourage me, it motivated me, because now I know that there's so much more depth waiting for me, that much progression, that many builds, that many frames to try. And yeah, I think the game could possibly explain some systems better with more repetition, more hey you can unlock this later type moments. I didn't even realize you could get another frame at first, I found that out by accident. But I'll also own this. Part of that is on me. I'm what the internet would probably call a boomer gamer by now. I struggle to read walls of text, my attention span is cooked, I'm very used to games just spoon feeding me nowadays, and Warframe doesn't do that, and that's kind of the point. This is a game made for people who want to learn something new. The wiki exists, the community exists, and honestly, they've been incredible. So where do I land after about 6 hours? I'd give Warframe a casual 8.5 out of 10. It's fast, it's beautiful, it feels amazing to play, and once it clicks, it really clicks. I'm genuinely addicted. I want to try new frames, I want to try new builds, I want to try new playstyles. I want to earn the power I keep seeing other players flex on my ass, and I'm really excited to do it the hard way. Trial by error, no spoilers, no rushing, just playing the game, with the occasional peek at the wiki. So if you want to see that journey, the mistakes, the progress, confusion, and eventually the glow up, hit subscribe. I'm documenting this from the very beginning and I want you here for it. And also, let me know in the comments, would you want to watch this as a live stream, because I've been thinking about streaming my progression too. Either way, thank you for helping a clueless space ninja figure things out. This is only just the beginning.